Let me guess, you signed up for every free lead magnet and binged on every marketing YouTube video and thought, what am I missing? Why isn't my business exploding like that? Well, I can tell you, you're not alone. Whether you're just getting started or have an established business, entrepreneurship can be really lonely. But it doesn't have to be. Overcoming your fear of launching or building your personal brand or figuring out how to scale, it shouldn't be holding you back. It should be empowering you. On this podcast, we're going to deep dive into the mechanics of what it takes to build your brand, make your mark, and stake your claim in the digital marketing space. I'll be chatting with people from all walks of life and stages in their careers. I will be getting inspiration from real experts who will share their actual strategies and techniques to grow loyal and raving followings and sell more stuff. This is entrepreneurship from people who are already there making it happen. My name is Jeff Mendelson. Join me and welcome to the One Big Tip podcast. And hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jeff Mendelson, and this is the One Big Tip podcast. Today, I am really excited to have Dominique Murray from Dominique Murray Photography here with us. This is going to be a really interesting show because she is basically rocking two main hustles, which is both of which I can talk about for hours at end, but we're not going to talk about all that today. So she has a photography studio, and she also has a masterclass and offers coaching sessions for social media marketing. And we're going to talk a lot about both of those today. So Dominique, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so Dominique, I wanted to dive in a little bit into first of all the main business, which is the photography business, and I took a look at your Instagram profile, and I'm instantly a fan. Your use of color is amazing. Your composition is great. I love I love the focusing techniques, and just interviewing right now in the room that you're in is just. It's so colorful, right?
Yeah.
It's just great. It's so pleasing to look at. And I was wondering if you can take a few minutes to introduce us to your studio and what your niche is, and like how you went about creating this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually started photographing on my phone when I was in like fifth grade. I had like a little LG View, and I could mess with the focus on it. Like, I guess it was a pretty advanced phone camera for the time being. And I would go outside and I would like photograph flowers in my backyard, and we have a pool, so I was like playing with the water, and I just loved it. I just had so much fun, and it was just my phone, and I honestly at the time had no idea that photography would be such a huge part of my life, or that it could be something so huge. So I decided in high school to take a trip to France and Spain, where I got a point and shoot camera. It's a little Nikon Coolpix. And I just, again, fell even deeper in love with photography and everything that was a part of this tiny little point and shoot camera. And going into high school, I signed up for a Photoshop class my freshman year, and they gave us cameras to use, and we took pictures and we Photoshopped them. And I just fell in love with everything from start to finish, from getting that camera to, uploading the pictures on the computer and going in and messing with them. It was amazing. So my senior year, I decided that I was going to go to school to get a photography degree, and my end goal was to become a photography professor. So my senior year gift from my parents was my first professional camera, and it was a Canon Rebel T5i. And I started taking senior pictures of my friends and just taking pictures of my brother all the time, taking pictures of my cat, everything, the whole 9 yards. And it was just amazing. So I decided to go to Robert Morris for a Bachelor of Fine Arts and Media Arts with a concentration in photography, and I fell in love with editorials. I love taking pictures of models in these very unique locations with all these bright different colors, and I was developing my editing style, and it just really evolved super quickly. I interned under Inspiring Lives magazine, and I interned under Terry Clark Photography, and they both helped me immensely. And right now I am doing high school senior portraits and then personal branding sessions. And my absolute all-time love favorite thing ever is editorials.
You touched on something that was really interesting, developing your own editing style, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that's really important, right? Because even within niching down to the type of photography that you're doing, right? Like you've already singled out that you're doing editorials or high school pictures, things like that.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is your commitment to consistency
Yeah.
in terms of how you in terms of how you bring that to your business. And that's
Mm-hmm.
actually a really good segue into also what's really important when you're marketing on social media in general, is that you can't just do it in a haphazard way, right? You really need to develop your plan of how it is that you're going to present yourself. But it's more than that, right? In your case, it's being consistent from start to finish. And that's actually, like your one big tip is being consistent in
Mm-hmm.
everything. So I was wondering if you can walk us through how that consistency in everything brings comes out in your work and how it's displayed.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. My style literally took me forever to develop, and I still don't think that it's complete. I think that's something that is like a lifelong process. So if there are any photographers out there, like it takes time. I started out with like super high contrasty photos. They're kind of like moody, but I still always had the consistency of these like fashion editorials with bright pops of color, and they were always in like unique locations. I even did things like the Hobby Lobby challenge where we'd go into Hobby Lobby and photograph in different areas of the store. But they kept working over and over and over again, and I was using the same camera and pretty much the same lenses the entire time, so that I would get the same effects in my photos, and I knew exactly what to expect when I was using certain settings to create a mood and change the atmosphere. Then when I uploaded the pictures, it went into learning how to use Lightroom and Photoshop, and then how to combine the two of them to get originally a moody, contrasty kind of feel, which now I'm kind of at this like lower contrast end. And it just makes my photos more cohesive together, and I love it. But there's still, again, always those super bright pops of color. My senior project was based on monochromatic colors, and it was the most insane project I've ever done. You can see it on my Instagram feed, but my editing style really started to develop there. Getting these super clean portraits, working with the skin and the editing, and then transitioning that into how I'm promoting myself on social media. So making sure that I was posting consistently, that I was posting around the same time, that I was always, doing things like 30 hashtags and tagging other accounts, and making sure that when I'm posting on my stories as well, that like all of my brand colors are incorporated on there. So it was everything, literally everything from start to finish was so consistent every single time that I did it. And it still is. Like with both companies, I cannot stress enough, like just consistency, 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 consistency in my fonts and my verbiage and my ads and my classes and my photography work and my editing style. Like everything is just so consistent. And I think it helped me to stand out in social media too, as well. Like just having such a fluid feed really just like grabbed people's attentions when they pop open my Instagram account first the next.
What would you say has been the net result of the consistency that you bring to the table?
Oh, that's a good question. I think there's a couple things. With being so consistent in like colors and text and fonts, I think that people can like they grab my stuff really quickly because they see, this, my color is coral. That's like my spirit color. They see this coral colored ad, and then they see my edit of my style, my photography, and they like immediately know that it's me. So I think it's easier for me to stand out in social media, whether that's Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever that may be. And I also think that social media is super loud. There's a lot of stuff going on literally all the time. There's millions, billions of posts that are put out there every day. So when I was able to push out this consistent artwork of editorials with the same style of edits, it was like pleasing for people to look at, and it drew them in to my work. So what originally was me just showing my portfolio ended up becoming a source of income because people saw my work and how consistent I was with it. And then they wanted to work with me. So I was able to grab their attention by being consistent in my ads and then consistent in my editing style as I was posting. They kind of knew the results that they were going to get. And it led me to getting DMs or Facebook messages or LinkedIn messages about like, hey, I want to work with you, which was really exciting for me because it all started in college, like before everything was even really a huge business aspect yet.
And now look, now you have these different tracks that are providing you income from different sources, which is which is amazing.
And I think that there's different ways that you can be like different companies have different abilities to be consistent. Like fonts and colors and everything that I'm talking about are very important to stand out, but also being consistent in the sense of like what your message is and what your brand is. And I feel like I'm very like on point with that as well. I'm always talking about high school seniors and personal brandings and editorials. So I'm consistent in what I'm trying to sell as well.
Dominique, if someone wants to reach out to you and wants to see your work, where can they find you?
Instagram, man. That's where it's at. So my Instagram handle is MURR_NUGG. So Murnug. That was my high school nickname, and it's stuck with me for forever. And they can also find me on Facebook, Dominique Murray Photography, or they can find my personal page as well. It's just Dominique Murray.
That's amazing. Dominique, this has been a really interesting show. Thank you very much for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
You got it. You have a great day.
You too.